Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you once again for joining us on another episode on Talking Fight of the Scoop, featuring the champ, Bola Ray. And we're going around the other side of the world tonight to Russia, and you're going to feature someone we all know and like. Why don't you introduce him, Alexander Povetkin?
The heavyweight division is exciting today, not just because, of the three, actually two champions, but also the underlings looking to get their opportunity at the head seat. On a bad day, any of these athletes could have set the course of history for these champions. It's because of fighters like these that keep the boxing audience on the edge of their seats, because anything could happen at any time. The three at the top are legends for completely different reasons. Thankfully, and I think it is primarily because of Tyson Fury, these guys are actually starting to fight each other now, and gracing history with some epic contests. What also is happening is all these fighters are greats in their own right, but they have holes in their game. And this is where the exciting part of these times actually comes into view, at least for me. It's the chess game is being enhanced to levels never seen before. The future Hall of Famer, Anthony Joshua, was dethroned by Andrew Ruiz via his larger-than-life determination and his hand speed. Now, but how do you beat Andy then? Well, the next fight was a blueprint of how a bigger man, bigger, taller, more athletic man could choose to do just that via staying the hell away from him. The athlete that I'm showcasing today is an example of a candidate that any day of the week could reign supreme over the division. I have personal experience with this fighter, and to me, he is arguably the smartest heavyweight in the game today. I would say that he is limited because of his size, and yet he has proven that size is just a variable in a physical contest that can be dealt with just like being left-handed. A genuine giant killer and a super nice guy, as long as you meet him, at least as long as you're not standing across the ring from him. My name is Bola Raymond Oluwole, and this is The Scoop. Born the 2nd of September 1979 in the city of Kursk, Russia, is the former world champion Alexander Sasha Povetkin. His love affair with conventional arts started at an early age, but it was kickboxing that he made his real first splash with. Winning the World Juniors in '97 and the Worlds in Kickboxing in '99, and finally in 2000 winning the European Professional Kickboxing title as a precursor to beginning his boxing campaign. Not a bad way to start. Not a bad way to start at all. Sasha won his first major boxing tournament in 2000, which was the Russian National Championships. This is no small feat. In Canada, earlier on this decade, it was touted that there was approximately 8,000 amateur boxing athletes in the country. Now, To become a champion here, that requires you to be like approximately the best in a pool of, say, 500 people nationwide, which, again, okay. When I was with Sasha in training camp in 06, the number that was being thrown around in Russia for the Russian amateur boxing program was 167,000 members.
Wow.
You would have to be the best in approximately 10,000 plus people. Slightly different. Sasha went on to win several international tournaments. Several international amateur tournaments. Goodwill Games in Brisbane, Australia in 2001. He won the 34th and 35th European Championships in 2002 and 2004. He won the World Championships in Thailand in 2003. And that's not all. Sasha started his professional, he then finished off with the Granddaddy tournament of all Granddaddy tournaments and took the gold medal at the 2004 Olympic Games in Athens. He finished off his amateur career with a record of 125 wins and 7 losses, of which all those 7 losses he actually avenged. Yeah, not a bad resume. Sasha started his professional career with nothing short of a bang, winning his first 26 fights over the likes of Larry Donald, silver medalist in the 1992 Olympic Games. Chris Bird, also silver medalist in the 92 Games, but also 2-time world champion as a pro. Eddie Chambers, the fast Eddie Chambers, former world title contender. Ruslan Chigayev, former world champion, or actually 2 times world champion as a pro heavyweight. And even Marco Huck, the cruiserweight legend, who held the world title for like 6 years straight as a cruiserweight. But none of these guys tell the story of Sasha beating David Price. Now, Pricey, as we who know him call him, was the bronze medalist in the 2008 Olympic Games at super heavyweight. Not just was he an Olympian, but he also, one would have to look at who he beat to become the British representative for the Olympics. There's a little known fighter by the name of Tyson Fury that he beat up. Not once, but twice as an amateur. He went to the Olympics over Fury. This speaks volumes to me because Povetkin made him look ordinary. What would happen if Povetkin had the opportunity to fight Fury? Not saying that he beat him today, because yes, Fury has advanced a great deal in his pro career, but he definitely would be in contention for that strap. I don't hold anything called concern when it comes to him with Deontay, but Pricey and Fury are really similar to me, and it was the greatest test to see what about with Fury would look like. Sasha, with this, I mean, they're the same height, an overall build, comparable power. But most notably is that the destruction of guy as great deal taller than him is what Sasha does. He's a giant killer. He just, even from the amateurs, his silver medalist, his bronze medalist match was against a guy who was 6'8", and he's only 6'2". He makes up that difference, and he's nothing shy of impressive with it. In my opinion, I don't think that it would be a very good fight for Fury whatsoever to fight Povetkin, but what do I know? Sasha was supposed to face off against Deontay twice, but the fights fell through because of drug allegations. That was unfortunate because I was beyond certain that he would dethrone the Brown Bomber. He just did not have the boxing IQ. He just doesn't have the boxing IQ. He has that big right hand, and Sasha would. Sasha's game, especially when it comes to the big boys, is getting inside and chopping you down like the big redwood that you are, up close. And as the fight with Deontay and Fury 2 has exposed, Deontay does not have an answer for anything called a mauling or inside fighting or anything of that sort. He did meet up for a dance with Anthony Joshua. Now, where Anthony walked away with victorious with a 7th round stoppage, but what transpired before that? In the first round, Sasha actually broke Anthony Joshua's nose just before the bell. Like literally seconds before the round ended, the first round ended. It was difficult for me to describe the combination that he used, but it landed flush. Like I'll try, but in essence, Povetkin, this is my right hand. Povetkin is right-handed, orthodox fighter. And he's fighting against another right-handed orthodox fighter. So when that orthodox fighter throws a jab at his forehead, what he does is he slips, he moves his head into what is known as into the power. Into the power. What that means is you're moving your head in the line of danger where your opponent's power punch is sitting. It could be sitting waiting. Now, this is all about timing, and he does this incredibly well. If you slip at the last minute a punch, what is commonly done is a person will throw the punch at the intended target and then see that they slipped, so they'll veer off to try to catch the person afterwards. Well, what he has successfully done is by slipping into the power, they will then veer their hand towards him, and at the same time, he then takes his right hand and he throws a looping overhand cross, which tags them. He creates a huge opening by doing so, because the person, his opponent, has just attempted to catch his head as it was moving off to the side, only to then get caught, which I call the valley. This bend in your elbow. The valley is created. He gets caught over the valley. But it's not the right hand that matters to him. He's not looking for that right hand. He catches you with the right hand, and that's just to stun you. And then he busts your face with an uppercut from I don't know where. I actually ate that punch once. It doesn't taste well. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now, for a reason that I don't know, um, after he did this in the first round, he didn't try it again, and to just let the fight go on. I genuinely thought like that was going to be a great test for Anthony Joshua because he's a really smart fighter, and I wanted to see what he's going to do to get around Anthony's power and athleticism. Anthony did well. I'd be interested to see a rematch. Anthony had no reason to give him a rematch, but I think that he'd have a good time with the rematch. Now, Sasha is getting up there in age, and the fire isn't as vibrant as it once was. He has a 1-1 loss with win against Dylan White. I'm hoping for a rematch, but we shall see what tomorrow holds for the champion. Wishing him the very best of luck, my man. He is one like soft spoken, just he's a lovable guy. And this is a common trait in boxing I've found in traveling the world and competing against greats. We're not competing or even training with them. You realize that most guys who are capable, the guys who are on top, have absolutely nothing called bravado, nothing called machismo. This guy has achieved everything that you could achieve in the amateurs and then went on. And if he was around in any other era, I think he would have been world champion. He would have reigned supreme for a very long time. It's just, even though he is the giant killer, there's some giants who are just a little too big and capable, and made his quest for dominance in this era a little more challenging for him. But he was he's a special human being. He's a special fighter. Like I said, he's arguably one of my favorites today. So, with that being said, that's my show. If you liked this episode, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. And don't forget the notification bell. It's your boy Bola, and that's the scoop.
Thank you very much, Ray. There
Cheers.
you go, boxing fans. You have a ringing endorsement for Sasha the Giant Killer from the champ himself. So let's see if there's one more fight left in him, and let's see if we can upset the boxing heavyweights of the world out there. You're right, though. I mean, it's going to be tough to dethrone Tyson Fury. That's for sure.
I think that he can. Like Tyson Fury, to me, I don't want to take anything away from him, but I just don't. He doesn't excite me at all. Of the three, AJ, I think, is the most complete package. Tyson is he has a high boxing IQ. He knows how to win. But he hasn't fought anybody other than Klitschko and Deontay, and even Deontay. Deontay doesn't have high boxing IQ. He just has a devastating right hand. But outside of Klitschko, he's never fought anybody that has a really good boxing IQ. And I still say that Fury didn't beat Klitschko. Vladimir lost that fight because he is arguably one. He's in there in that category with Sasha as one of the most brilliant fighters ever in the heavyweight division, in my opinion. The things that he's done. Watch his fight with Ray Austin, where I think this is a world title fight, where he actually beat a man with one hand, knocked him out in 2 rounds, never threw one right hand whatsoever. Like these things are unheard of. His ability to the different styles that he has faced and he was able to dominate for over a decade with is a god. But what happened when he went up against Fury? Nonsense. He allowed Fury into his head. He wanted to knock him out. He was looking for the big knockout. Yeah, everyone wants to underestimate Fury. Yeah, he's gonna go off and knock him out. And in swinging for the air, he didn't set anything up. Then he ended up losing the fight. I don't know. It was nothing shy of upsetting. But hey, again, take nothing away from Fury. He did what he had to do, and he's successful doing it. So,
without a doubt, and I think this era somewhat reminds me of the '80s. You've got a lot of contending heavyweights waiting in the wings, and if Tyson Fury's dethroned, you're going to see. I mean, look at the lineup of heavyweights. I mean, you're 5 or 6 deep right now.
Literally. I'm impressed with. I'm really looking forward to this fight with Joshua. I want to see exactly what transpires there.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big test for Joshua. It's the first time Joshua is going to fight someone taller than him. He's not the most tactical fighter. He's okay, but he's not super technical. And I would like to see exactly, because he's not overly technical, what he's going to do with the reach disparity in that fight. Because, yeah, Fury and I, even though Fury's 3 inches tall or 2 inches taller than me, we have the same reach. And there's very few guys in the pro game that have our reach that surpass ours. We have the same reach. My reach is longer than Deontay's, and Deontay and I are the same height. And if I just realized that Lennox Lewis, who is 2 inches shorter than me, has a reach that's an inch shorter than me. And he is the last heavyweight that I saw that actually used his reach solely to his advantage. Like, his jab was that dominant, and he would use every inch of it to ensure that he would dominate and control the contest from the outside. So, like I said, I'm interested to see exactly what that contest holds.
I think we all are.
Yeah.
And it goes to the whole chess game you're talking about before. I mean, it operates on different levels within the ring and outside the ring. So it's going to be interesting for all of us to see A, who wins that fight, and B, who lines up afterwards. It's going to be amazing. A great year, I think. Right. So there we go. Another episode of The Scoop featuring the champ. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow night.
Cheers.
Absolutely. Thank you.